evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever it is you're watching this from. Apologies for the delay. It's currently 9:10 where I am, which means it is 10 minutes past 8 where most of you are. We got locked out of Instagram, so I couldn't get on and do the live, but I'm here now. So those of you who have been sitting waiting patiently, I thank you very, very much. Already, immediately, a few of our amazing LiveUP members already in. Laura Cupcakes. Awesome transformation, that one was awesome. I hope you're still doing it. Obviously I haven't heard from you for a long time, Laura, but I hope you are still bang on track. Andrew Willett, another one of the amazing LiveUP transformations. What's up, brother? How are you? James Hornady, you better be being good, my man. You better be being good, because you're about to be another amazing LiveUP transformation. For those of you who haven't seen it, obviously we've had loads of our awesome LiveUP transformations. Some of them have been in men's health, they've been dotted about all over the place. Get on over to @LiveUp online and check out that Instagram page. In the profile there, get all the information you want. Obviously ask me questions right now regarding our LiveUp program, anything you need to know, and obviously ask the people who are here. Laura Hickman, one of my awesome, again, LiveUp girls, who's now doing one-to-one with UP. Make sure you're behaving yourself as well, Laura. Mosh, or Mo rather, hello, what's up? Any announcements? You hear it, the last time we did it, we are now doing, or I am now doing, the summer boot camps out here in Marbella. Now, the one that we have set up for the 3rd to the 6th of October, you can go to my personal profile, hit the link in my bio, and you can sign up for that. That is going to be officially the biggest training camp UP has ever put on anywhere, in Europe's best gym with some of Europe's best training staff. So if you are not already involved in that, make sure you get involved in that. That is going to be absolutely epic. Laura, I'm glad of that. Good girl. Keeping it up. Right there, folks, is a good point of sustainability. One of the things we have built into LiveUp plan when we put it together, or the 6-Fit LiveUp, whatever it now is called, LiveUp, is that sustainability is everything. You know, the best diet is the one you can stick to. You'll have heard everybody say that in the past. Despite the fitness industry being full of silly extremes and a lot of good marketing, we've got a lot of people out here on LiveUp who have been doing the LiveUp plan for upwards of 3.5 years with no changes, are still in shape. So that right there is a testament to it. If you want a diet that you can truly stick to, something that is highly effective, highly effective and sustainable, then get on over to @LiveUp online or direct message us right here. We will send you details on how to sign up. You get everything that you could possibly want with that. You get full training protocols, you get full nutrition protocols, you get full supplementation protocols, you get your cardio protocols, you get online support, you get weekly check-ins, everything for £50 per month, 50 UK, which I think is about $65 US. So it's pretty damn spectacular value for what you get. And obviously you've seen the transformations that are coming from it. Absolutely insane. Laura Cupcakes, I've been having front knee pain when squatting. Is my leg muscle too tight? More than likely, yes, Laura. What tends to happen when people get knee pain at the front of their leg is because their iliotibial band, their IT band, which is a big fibrous strip down the side, is often a bit tight, or their rectus femoris, which is the muscle that kind of sits between the hip bone that you can feel right at the front. You know the sort of thing, if you smash on a table, it really hurts. That hip bone, and about halfway down the quad in the center, when you really lean, you can see it. The rectus femoris, that can get very, very tight, and it starts pulling on the patella tendon. And if there's any contact with the bone there, it can start to rub and get a little bit painful. So make sure you're loosening off your quads, your IT band regularly, lots of stretching, lots of foam rolling, and if you can afford it, go and see a decent sports therapist as regularly as possible. What else have we got? There's a bunch of you who have been asking where the recordings from the live feeds have been recently. I don't know what happened. We've been looking into it. YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, deleted about 50 of my videos and have made it extraordinarily challenging to upload videos. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. It is a little bit frustrating, but they are steadily going back on, so do go and check them out. I've got last weeks to put up this week, and then this week I will try and get it up by next week. But say each time I'm loading it up, it's taken me anywhere between 2 and 3 days just to get the video loaded up into YouTube, which sucks, and I don't know why. What is the transition like for, I assume for, someone like myself who is programmed to calorie counting for several years? It depends on you, to be honest. Like, a lot of people have been driven into calorie counting, and it is incredibly useful. You know, it gives you an awareness that nothing else can do. It gives you an attention to detail that nothing else can do. It gives you the ability to make tweaks in detail that nothing else can do. However, you can't track everything for the rest of your life. It's going to drive you insane. Paralysis by analysis. Now, the people who are best at making that transition are the people who are open-minded and mentally strong enough to let go. One of the things I really focus on the LiveUP plan is telling people just to let go and trust in the plan. What people have to bear in mind, and what you will have to bear in mind, man like Solly, is that this program was put together over, I went over, basically sat in a house, to give you a background on the program, I sat in a house over Christmas for 3 weeks, alone, in front of a fire, and I went through every single program and every single diet I'd written for the previous 9 years. That's a lot of programs, it's a lot of diets. It was somewhere, I estimated, between about 15 and 18,000 hours worth of personal training. And what I did is I essentially looked at all of the best results I got from those hours. And I said, right, what did I do really, really well there? And what could I have improved on? And I extracted all the best bits. I looked at all of the other programs where I didn't get results, or I had really difficult clients, and I thought, what, again, were the weak spots? Why didn't the client get results? What I then took from that, created what is now the LiveUP plan. All of the best bits of the best programs were put into one plan without any of the weaknesses. Now, if you were just buying into a random program you'd taken off the internet, then I could understand some skepticism and thinking, oh, maybe this wouldn't work. But this is tried, tested, it consistently delivers results. Now, the only variable tends to be your effort. That genuinely is the only variable here. We have a lot of people obviously who say, oh, I don't think it'll work for me, I don't think this. That tends to be the defeatist attitude. Now, to put it in perspective, we had 4 members of staff from UP, office staff. They couldn't have been more different. Some with lifting history, some with injuries, some with underlying illnesses. And they said, right, we want to try LiveUP. We want to get on it, we want to see what it's like. And we're going to be doing videos on that. They're going to give a bit of honest feedback based on what their experience of it was. But I said, right, absolutely, the staff can go on it. However, I expect full commitment, okay? There is no messing about, there's no fucking around. They do what they are told, they do it perfectly. Okay, so that was my deal with them, is I would allow them on it and I would put the work into it with them if they complied 100%. Now, what happened? Where they all did comply, let's say 95%, 100% of the staff got transformations. All of them, every single one. Now that for me was testament to the program and its effectiveness, because when someone complies, it gets results 100% of the time. Very, very simple. So the transition is based entirely on you, how much trust you're prepared to put into the experience that's gone into creating that plan, and whether you're going to open your mind and just comply. If you open your mind and comply, you will get results. If, however, you struggle to let go of what you think you already know, which is often a huge mistake, you know, you can't fill a cup that's already full. If you struggle to let go of what you think you already know, you're really, really going to struggle to develop. So it depends entirely on the individual. That was a long answer. What's a good warm-up routine? Vijay Kumar, if you go to my YouTube channel, which is Elliot Upton, I've put a video up there for the warm-up routine I use before I do my sessions, so you can get on over there. James Hornsey, definitely behaving, smashing it so far this week. The water weight has dropped back down by 2 kilos already. 5 stars all around this week, my dude. That's what I'm talking about. That is what we need. And you tell me, are you getting your results? Are you getting your transformation back? Is it coming back? Because you made such immense progress in that first initial section that it's obviously getting difficult now. We had the chat on Monday at check-in day. But tell me, do you think you're going to finish off this transformation? I want to know. I want to get some more of you boys into men's health, please. And I want some of the women in women's health. Boost! Fitness for life. What have we got? I'm just scrolling through questions. Abigail Donahue, hi guys. What's up, Abby? You are looking epic as well, Abby. Superb shape. Again, Abby is one of our LiveUP girls. Absolutely smashing it. For anyone thinking about joining LiveUP, stop thinking and get involved. It's the dog's bollocks. I've seen more progress in 11 weeks than I have in the last 6 years. I wonder if I can screenshot this. Let's try it without shutting it down. Yes, I can. Awesome little bit of a review there, Dave Hills, and thank you. Man like Solly. It's all Abigail. Hi, for hip thrusters. I was literally just doing them. I'm still currently having my post-workout shake. I know we have spoke about upping the weight and I'm keeping tempo. I also saw a post you said about being in triple figures for weight after 3 or 4 months. Is this in pounds or kilograms? It's actually in kilograms, definitely in kilograms. Now, to put it in perspective, you're going to see very, very shortly some content that I did with an amazing young influencer called Sana. And part of what we were trying to do is put on a little bit of muscle on her legs, put a little bit of muscle on her butt. And this girl is in astonishing shape. Some of you may have seen me post some little bits about her. But we started hip thrusting. Now, when she was training on her own, and this girl knows how to train, she's extremely strong, knows how to train, she was hip thrusting anywhere between 50 and 60 kilos, and thought it was about her limit. You know, she didn't really want to go much above it. Within, let's say, about 8 sessions, she was thrusting for 10 sets, 90 kilos. And bear in mind, that's 10 sets for 90 kilos. So realistically, her 6 to 8 rep kind of area would have been about 100 to 120 kilos. And that was just after 8 or 9 sessions that we'd actually managed to do together. To put that in perspective, she weighs about 50, mid 50s to early 60s. So you should be lifting a lot. A lot of people don't lift heavy enough on hip thrusts. Now, of course, you use a variation. You use a variation of metabolic stress-like movements where you're doing lots and lots of reps. You're getting that burn. You're getting that lactic acid build-up. But you should also be training your glutes and hip thrusts very, very heavy at times. Your glutes are powerful drivers. They deliver a lot of strength, a lot of force, and it's quite a safe movement. You know, it's not like trying to go really, really heavy. I understand a lot of you might get nervous. It's not like a deadlift or a squat, especially where, you know, you've really got a weight on top of you. It's very unlikely that if you've warmed up properly and you've done everything right, that anything bad is going to happen with a hip thrust. Even if you overload the bar, you just can't get it off the ground, and it's, you know, even at its highest point, it's 8 inches off the ground. So you're really not going to struggle. Load up that bar when you're doing your hip thrust, get it up there, power it up, squeeze it, feel the glutes, get it back down. Don't be a pussy about it. And yes, kilos. Haley, just signed up. Will all of the workouts be lower and upper separate workouts? Maxine, as you progress throughout the phases, we're currently up to 15 now. We've got some people on phase 15, so that's 15 months. You get all sorts of stuff. There's advanced stuff, there's some full body, there's some splits. We mix it up. We try to keep you as varied as possible based on the results. What I tend to do with females and why the LiveUP plan is set out is because the majority of females don't train their lower bodies enough to A, get the metabolic effect of it, and B, get the shaping effect of it, and they often try and train their upper bodies a little bit too much, which doesn't necessarily create the shape that really makes a woman look amazing, athletic, lean, but not too masculine, you know. So we try and balance that out. Thanks, Ellie. Does the plan allow for the odd social occasion night out? Man like Sully, it depends on honestly, it depends on what you want from it. If you want someone to just give you an exercise program so you've got something to do, then you're going to go on nights out anyway. If you expect me to turn around and approve nights out, then I'm not going to do it. It's a results-based plan. You know, if you want results, you're not going to go out and get pissed. You're not going to go out and do 10 pints of cider or beer or whatever it is you want to do. The one caveat with that is what I say to everybody is when you have earned it, when you've got lean, when you've got your transformation, you can start reintegrating the fun, you know, more fun parts of life and just balance it out. Because I can guarantee once you have a six-pack, you're probably not going to want to lose it. So you'll be able to see when things are happening, when negative things are affecting you. You know, if you've gone out on a night out and you start to see, oh shit, after 2 or 3 weeks you've had a few too many nights out, your six-pack starts to disappear, you're probably going to rein it in. The fact is now if you're fat, and you are going out once a week, you're not going to rein it in, you know, because you can't see whether it's having an effect. You're like, oh, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. So honestly, no, I'm not going to factor in nights out and social occasions until you're lean. Once you're lean, you can make it work for you. But until then, I do advise that everybody sucks it up a little bit and actually tries and works for it. Happy hump day, everyone. Happy hump day to you, Nancy. Looking absolutely awesome. I've seen your transformation pictures. Mega. Been on one-to-one for 17 weeks, 7 centimetres off waist, 9 centimetres off hips, 19 pounds down, going on holiday on Monday, and I'm actually excited to wear swimwear for the first time in a long time. Awesome, as it should be. I love you guys, our clients are the best. What is the full price of your online course? It says £50 per month, but there are additional costs. No, that is literally it, Jonathan. It is £50 per month. There's no hidden costs in that. I can now fit into my 17-year-old daughter's clothes. I'm 42, feeling great, strong and positive. Thanks, UB. Epic, I love that. I'm on 70 kilograms at the minute, so I'll keep upping it. Yeah, just a little bit at a time, you know, 5 kilos a week maybe, and you'll be at triple figures in no time. Make sure when you are, you post a video on the forum because I want to see that. You know, it's one of those things, what I tend to find, last year before especially, had a few, when LiveUP was 6 Fit, had a few of the girls come out and actually train in Marbella, and when I actually got the chance to train with them one-to-one, they were lifting at least 50 to 100% more than they'd been lifting on their program. So you're a lot stronger than you think, genuinely. So what's up, Ravi? Hello. James, yes mate, definitely finish this off. I was just being a Jesse last week. Your feedback certainly kicked me back into action. Sometimes I can be a bit of a brute, but it's necessary. I'm not one of these people to blow smoke up your ass if it's not deserved. What do you mean by insulin resistance, and does this mean long-term low carbs in a diet due to this? Depends on the level of it, Leachy. Insulin resistance, insulin is something that essentially unlocks muscle cells to allow for glucose and nutrient entry. Now the problem is, it's like a lock and a key. This is how people tend to use, the metaphor people tend to use, is that if this is a muscle cell and it is closed, insulin is a key that comes along, opens it up and allows nutrients in. Now the problem is, if the muscle cell is full, or you're having too many carbs, etc., and this muscle cell can no longer open, it becomes insensitive to insulin. Insulin no longer works to unlock the cell. Glucose remains in the blood. Obviously that is a very, very dangerous thing. It's where diabetes, type 2 diabetes, etc. So insulin resistance is usually through a lack of proper health, exercise, proper diet. Now it can often be reversed by a low carb diet. Why? Because you will start to use all of the fuel in the muscle cell. You will make yourself far more insulin sensitive. These cells will eventually allow that key to come along and open it up and allow nutrients in. So low carb dieting, if you have an element of insulin resistance, is very, very intelligent thing to do. Yes, absolutely. That alongside weight training. Weight training, because you're going to be using the muscle glucose. You're going to be using what is filling up the muscle cell and kind of almost not allowing it to open, essentially. Missed the website, can you put it up again? The website is upfitness.com. If you want any of our products, you can go to upfitness.com. If you want to go to the training seminar, the October training seminar, you can go to my profile, which is Elliot Upton, and you can hit the link in that bio. What's my current goals in bodybuilding? I'm not a bodybuilder. It's not something that's really of interest to me in any way, shape or form. Come on. Sorry about that, Wi-Fi's in and out again. Awesome. With regards to bodybuilding, it's not really my thing. I've not really got much interest in bodybuilding at all. The kind of cliche version of bodybuilding. For me, it's just about health. I was obese my whole life, my childhood into my teens. When I got into my adulthood, I decided to get lean. I lost a lot of weight, lost about half my body weight, in fact. And then I became a PT. And now, for me, it's just about keeping my health and trying to stay, as level as I can, because I do have a family history of illness. I have a history of illness myself, quite serious illnesses. So I just need to keep everything quite tight on that. With regards to bodybuilding, it's not really something I'm vastly interested in. On the LiveUP, is it portion control rather than calorie counting? It is absolutely, yes. Portion control and guides. So we tell you to basically to select the protein source, select the carb source, fat source, whatever, and give you a portion control amount of that, or a weight of it, rather than messing around with calories. I can commit to a training site, but nutritionists let me down, as in I'm not so much eating crap but not enough nutrients. LiveUp could be the one for you then, because it simplifies everything. It really takes away all of the shit and all of the complication of it, the tracking, all of the difficult stuff, which is incredibly useful, as I say, especially from an education standpoint, but it can be a bit of a nightmare for people who are overwhelmed by that kind of thing. LiveUp could be the answer to that. So, get on over to the website, upfitness.com, and check it out. Nancy, I would love to come and do a training camp at some point and get over to mine in October then. October 3rd to the 6th, it's going to be amazing. I was so nervous about being least in shape. Is it usually people way down the line that Carmark and newbies join? Nancy, so to put it in perspective, the October seminar, which is going to be our biggest to date, it's going to be the biggest one that UP has ever held. That's going to be out here in Marbella with me hosting it. 80 to 85% of the people on that are UP clients, so people in exactly the same position, online clients, LiveUp clients, people who have gone through the journey and they want to master some new techniques, they want more education, they want to meet the rest of the guys, the people especially on the forum. A lot of the guys and girls on the forum, they kind of want to meet each other, they want to get together, they want to have the really community feel. So it's going to be a really special time, and I really wouldn't be nervous about being the least in shape. We will adapt things for you dependent on your ability. You are only going to be able to work as hard as you can work. So we will push you, absolutely we will push you. We will push you to an inch of your life, but at the same time you will still be able to take it at your own pace, so don't worry. Joanne, I'm a big baby and gag on veg. I know, how bad do I want it? Exactly, how bad do you want it? I've got very little sympathy for people who say, oh, but I don't like veg. Well, you don't like being in shape then. Oh, but I don't like drinking water. Well, you don't like being in shape then. Oh, I don't like blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm a bit harsh about that, but fair, because it is fair. Man like Solly, do you prepare all your own meals, or do you do a hybrid of your own packaged meals restaurants? Ordinarily, I prepare my own unless I have access to a meal prep company. Now, I've gone through 3 or 4. I actually used to own a meal prep company out here in Marbella. I sold that off, and the people who took over it really didn't do very well with it at all, because they were inaccurate, they didn't do stuff, so I went back to preparing my own food. And then, because the demands on my time kind of meant I couldn't do that anymore, I then went to meal prep again, but then these people were very, very inaccurate. I've been preparing my own food as best I can recently, despite having very little time. And this week, the start of this week, I've actually tried another new food prep business here where I am. So I'm going to give that a go, but it kind of depends. For me, it's about, I will always do food prep. Food prep is so much easier if you can find a good company who are organized, who can deliver tasty food that is accurate to the calories you have asked for. I recommend all of you do it. All of you do it, because, you know, so many of you out there are going to turn around and you're going to say, oh yeah, but I can't afford it, it's this, it's that. But 90% of you out there probably eat out once per day, like lunch, this, that and everything. Spend 12, 13, 14 quid on something from Marks and Spencer's. You'll have a coffee, 5 quid. You'll have a couple of snacks, 22, 23 quid by the time you've got to all of this. Then you'll go home and you'll eat your other food, which you've paid for, but you've lost time preparing stuff because you haven't been eating accurately, you've been eating on the go, you're not getting in shape. All of these things combine to that being a complete false economy. Whereas if you were willing to pay for some food prep, chances are you're going to save a ton of time, and loads of you out there, your perception of time is super skewed. So you think, oh, I simply haven't got time to do this, I haven't got time to do that, I haven't got time, because you're wasting time on other stuff that isn't necessarily important. The 22 to 25 quid you probably spend a day on shop bought food and coffees would be 20 to 25 quid on meal prep, which is calorie accurate, macro accurate, unbelievably convenient, tasty, and you're going to get in shape without any stress. All you need to do is eat the food that you need to eat. Very, very simple. I highly recommend food prep companies if you can. Obviously, we have in London and Manchester, we have our Eat Up meal prep. So get over to @EatUp and you can check it out, or just to UP Fitness. Type it in there, type Eat Up, and you will see it. You can Google it, you can do whatever you want and latch onto that. It's absolutely awesome. That's what I do every time I'm in Manchester, every time I'm in London. So get on that. Dumb question, I know. When you're calculating the weight you lift, do you include the bar weight or just the weights you put on? I would include the bar weight as well. Robbie, what's up? Chickson, thoughts on DNA tests that tell you which foods to eat and avoid loads of gosh? No, there may be something in it, you know, it's I don't know enough about them. I've had obviously digestive tests, things like that, which say I have allergies to eggs, I have allergies to nuts, I have allergies to various things, and I do think there's something in them. I don't necessarily think that they are always right, and the quality of them is always going to differ, but I think there is something in them. So by all means, give it a go and add it. You know, it's an extra tool in your box. If you come up with certain results, you can figure out what's going on with your body, and maybe you can experiment with stuff and figure these things out. D-Day feels, I'm doing fasted cardio every day as discussed in this week's check-in. Is there any physiological difference between doing 30 minutes for 6 days versus 1 hour for 3 days? Hope that makes sense. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought so, especially fasted, you'd be fine. So I would do it. If you want to go that way, I would do that. Just make sure that it is intentional. You know, a lot of people, we're obviously massive advocates, and we do it on the LiveUP plan as well, of step goals. The problem is with step goals, as much as they are useful, is that most people meander. They mooch around, they're like whoop, 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 everywhere they go. The problem with that is that you're being fucking lazy. The great thing about cardio, especially fasted cardio in the morning, is you will walk with intent. You will walk quickly. You will probably get a sweat on it. It'll be good for your brain. You get fresh blood everywhere. You'll walk like it's cardio. Or if you're doing intentional cardio, even if it's only 30 minutes a day, you will make it exercise. The problem with step goals, although they are very, very useful, is people tend not to make them exercise. They just meander. If you're gonna do them properly. Get your steps in and get them in fast. What's the requirements to become a PT at UP? Obviously, we need you to be qualified. Secondly, you need to be not a dick, and there are a lot of dicks in the industry. Third, you need to be able to take criticism, because your first 2 years in UP are going to probably be the hardest 2 years of your professional life. And arguably, you already need to be one of the more talented PTs in the industry to get through. That's not to say that you are the most educated or you're the most experienced, but you may be one of the most naturally gifted in that you care more. You know, what we need are PTs who care, PTs who are going to deliver what we expect them to deliver to the client. Now, anyone applying obviously needs to sit there and ask themselves, right, am I willing to put in what it takes to deliver what UP expect of me? If you are, then hit the apply button. We are looking for trainers all over the world right now. If, however, you think, do you know what, I want it easy, you know, I just want to go in, do my clients, and I want to fuck off home with 30 quid an hour, you're probably not for UP. If you want a career, if you want to learn, if you want to go through the best education system on the planet, but you are also willing to work for that, then hit the apply button, and it will, without a doubt, be the most rewarding job you have ever had, for sure, no doubt. Do you need to have experience and all the knowledge, or do you get taught it? You don't need it. As I say, it's more about you not being a dick. If you're the right person and you care, as I've just said, you are going to get a great chance of getting in. Al1 block. Hi, I'm starting my UP transformation in September. I'm super determined, but I've always been nervous about going to the gym because of my condition. People always stare. Advice. Understand, first and foremost, that the majority of the time, people, it may be different for you, but people are not staring for the wrong reasons. Most people in the gym stare because they are curious as to what you're doing. They want to learn. A lot of people are in the same position. Remember, all of us have been in the same position. Every single person in whatever gym you are in has been into the gym for the first time themselves. And they were shitting themselves. They understand what it feels like. Secondly, you know, with your specific condition and you're trying to go through a transformation, people are going to watch you doing things in a structured manner. People are going to watch you putting effort in. People are going to watch you overcoming an issue that they may not be able to overcome. If they're looking at you, there's a damn good chance they're thinking, fuck, man, this is an inspired person. I'm inspired by them. The chances are, although they may not say it to you, they're going to be more complimentary in their stares than they would be anything else. And you should remember that when you're in there. You know, you should be proud when you're in there. That's more than likely what is going to happen. Don't be afraid. Every single person had to have started somewhere, and there's a good chance that people who are looking at you are inspired by you. They are not judging you. If they are judging you, and on the tiny chance, and don't get me wrong, there are places like that, if they are judging you, you're in the wrong fucking gym, and get out, find a new one. Hardcore. What's your take on intermittent fasting? It's calorie deficit, same as anything. If intermittent fasting, you know, allows you to create or control your eating so you remain in a calorie deficit, then it has some benefits. Honestly, for me, I don't necessarily think it has such a massive place in body composition training. The reason being is that it tends to lead to massive overfeeding at certain times, which can mess with energy, it can mess with portion control, it can mess with, you know, your cravings, etc. But each to their own, you know. I'm not a fan. It's not something I would ever recommend to a client for a body composition transformation. However, it does have medical usage. You know, it's good for the brain. It can be great for inflammation. So, by the by, it has its benefits, has its drawbacks. Dave Hills, I'm either doing the stepper or incline treadmill to get a good sweat on. Awesome. Just make sure you're not holding on when you're on the incline treadmill. That's one of my pet hates. Ari step goals. I'm bloody loving getting out for brisk walk in the hills every day. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? It's absolutely phenomenal. So good for that. Totally worth making the time for yourself every day. We're all too busy looking at screens. I 100% agree with that, Nancy. Alright, cheers Elliot. No worries. If you're going to apply, good luck. Maybe I'll see you as a team member very soon. Cam, came off deload 2 weeks ago where I reduced calories by 30%. Now gone back to normal calories. Now body fat has increased. Seems any advice? Body fat has actually increased, or you're just holding a little bit more water because you've started training higher volume, likely higher volume again, or higher load. Samir, as the LiveUP phases go on, does the cardio change to less, or can you still do intervals? What we suggest, Samir, after phase 3, because we tend to aim for a bit of urgency to try and get you transformation in 12 weeks. You know, That's the psychology of it. Past that, we can integrate as much cardio and as much intervals as needed or as you want to do in order to achieve your body shape. You know, if you feel that you still have fat to lose and you still want to keep going, you can keep the intervals in and you can keep the lifts in, or you can keep the steps in as it currently is. It's entirely down to you. You can play around with that based on what you want to do. Are walking with intent and lifts very similar? Absolutely, DS Beverly, they are, and this is what I mean. The problem is when people are doing their steps, this is the one weakness with step goals, is that people don't walk with intent. They just meander, they piss about and they mooch around and they're not actually really exercising. Can doing enough steps count as your cardio? Yes, potentially, if, as I've just said, you're doing it with intent, absolutely. Amy, our little vlogging superstar. Kombucha allowed on the plan, or is it no? I did a little bit of reading on kombucha. I can't remember a while ago. What was it? Do you know what? I'm going to have to remind myself what it is, or do remind me what it is, because I remember being asked this question a little while ago and I've not really been exposed to it. Certainly isn't a big thing here. Let me know what it is. Could be that if it is water, how long should I wait until perhaps changing something in case it's body fat? If it's, give yourself, you know, take a little bit more magnesium and give yourself a week or so, and the chances are it'll dry out. You'll adapt and it'll dry out. Man like Sully, for a beginner HIT, is this slowly introduced in the beginning phase? Currently blowing out my arse on the air bike, 10 seconds on 45 for 6 rounds. No, we introduce it at 10 rounds initially, which is next to nothing. You know, it's like 10 minutes worth of work, 10, 15 minutes worth of work, and then it gradually increases to a limit by the end of phase 2. But 6 of them, 6 times 10 seconds, man like Sully, you're being a bit of a Jesse. Not even a bit of a Jesse, actually, you're being a massive Jesse. Man up. Can you ever see a person with a disability becoming a PT? I've seen multiple people with disabilities becoming PTs. I really want to do it and show people it's possible, but I feel like people won't take me seriously. What would you do to get around this? Be the first. You know, if you've never seen one, don't necessarily think that it doesn't happen. As I say, I've seen many. Just because someone else you know hasn't done it, or you feel like someone else hasn't done it, doesn't mean that should stop you, man. Be the pioneer. Be the person who steps out there. Be the person who breaks boundaries. You know, and ultimately, as a personal trainer, you know, if you're less physically capable, it isn't the end of the world. If you are an outstanding trainer, if your knowledge is up, if you care more for your clients' results than the PTs around you, even if you may not be physically as capable as one of them, the chances are you're going to be a better PT, people will respect you more, you'll get more business, you're going to deliver results. So be the pioneer, have no fear, step out there. You are not ever going to achieve anything, or especially achieve your happiness, if you're not prepared to take a risk. So yeah, how many phases are there to live up, and as it goes on, does the focus change to fat loss, to muscle gain? It does indeed. We've currently got 15 phases written, and I write a new one every single month, so you never ever run out. You can literally be on Live Up for the rest of your life, or certainly for as long as I am working with UP, which is hopefully for the rest of your life. Beautiful. So we've got beef protein in here. We have half a bag of spinach, water, ice, and a half a scoop of chocolate treats. Epic. Right, what else have we got? Well, I've caught up with the questions. Come on, folks, got about 20 minutes left. Fermented tea drink with nature flavourings. Can send you a breakdown if you want. Thank you for being ace. Love your plan. Instavids. Fermented tea drink. I'll have a look at it. Yes, just drop me an email or something like that, and I'll have a look at it. I keep hearing about it, but I've not actually read about it. I'm on it for the rest of my life. Love it. You've got wicked results, man. I know you've had a few wobbles. You know, you've been like, oh, I don't know if I'm getting there fast enough. I don't know if I'm doing this, but you've got six pack now. You're flying through it. Welcome, Amy. Not a problem. How would you train around a bad back? VJ, it depends on the bad back. Is it a bad back? Is it bad rhomboids? Is it a bad lower back? Is it actually a bad back, or is it a weak back? Is it bad lats? Give me a little bit more information on that when you re-ask the question. How can I increase my cardiovascular health? By making sure you're eating the right foods and doing some cardiovascular exercise, or making sure your weight training is nice and intense. On the forums, to give you an idea of how incredibly effective weight training is for cardiovascular health and fat loss is a lot of the folks recently during their weight training sessions have been putting up their Fitbit or their Apple Watch workout counters. Average heart rates on the weight training sessions in LiveUP are ranging between 130 and 186. These are the weight training sessions, not cardio, not interval, the weight training sessions. So that basically puts someone in a fat burning zone for an hour and is training their heart throughout. That is why weight training will always be king or queen. It is 2019. James, whilst I'm removing carbs to sort of shift to what weight, should I make up the calories with some more protein or veg? No, just keep it as it is. Keep it as it is. You pissed up a few times, so keep it as it is. I need you drying out very, very quickly. We can do some refeeds if we need them, but we're right on the limit, and if you start throwing it about, you're gonna lose your transformation. You've had a couple of sloppy weeks, so you need to suck it up and get on with it. What's the best advice for getting lean? Do you eliminate carbs for a while or just lower them? It very much depends on what your body type is. Obviously, when you're taking away carbs, you're taking away calories. But what that does tend to help you do is it always drops a load of water weight, which can be very, very motivating because it feels like you get leaner very, very quickly. It can help with insulin sensitivity, which means when you reintroduce carbs, you're going to use carbohydrates better for muscle building. You're going to help you recover slightly better. So dropping carbs for 2 or 3 weeks is a very, very beneficial thing to do for most people. However, if you're more skinny fat, sometimes it isn't the better way to do it. You know, if I had someone who's a bit skinny fat, I probably would leave carbs in, like the LiveUP plan, for instance. Because it's a relatively low supervision plan, it has carbs from day one. Everybody has carbs from day one. The reason being is, again, as I said earlier, I broke down every program I'd written for the previous 9 years. And some of the people who really, really struggled to adhere to their plan, they couldn't manage low carbs. They were getting cravings, they were getting this, they were getting that, the other. So for me, with the LiveUP plan, I kept carbohydrates in. It ranges anywhere between about 75 and 150 grams on the starting portions, which is more than enough for anyone. Just enough to kind of keep people losing fat, but without giving them cravings, etc., etc., etc. So it depends on the person. Welcome, James. How do I feel about corn? It's a soy product, so I would stay away from it, and it tastes like pebbles. You don't want to be taking in too much soy in your diet, folks. Soybeans, they contain the highest amounts of natural estrogens of any food that I'm aware of. This is going to mess up your sex hormones. Men, it's going to potentially mean you grow bitch tits. It's going to mean that your boners aren't as hard. It's going to kind of de-man you. Women, it's going to potentially promote more fat storage on your hips, on your bum, on your thighs, around your belly area. It's going to make your periods worse. It's going to do all sorts of things. So just be aware of that with soy products and things like that. They're not really as good for you as they're made out. Appreciate body fat percentage is a great marker, but what are your thoughts on BMI? BMI is absolute bollocks. Absolute bollocks. That's the easiest, most simple answer for me to say. Who would you work out with? Young Nick Mitchell or young Arnie? That's a great question. Great question. A young Nick Mitchell, still, I think. Honestly, yeah. I've learned an awful lot, you know. Nick's like family to me, whether he would say it or not. He's like family to me. I've learned a lot. I owe him a lot. You know, my life has changed because of Nick. So it'd still be young Nick. I bet he was a super intense human being when he was younger. He's quite intense now, but certainly back when he was like in his early 20s, well, sort of mid 20s, early 30s. Hi Nick, thoughts on self-proclaimed health bars like grenade Trek bars? My opinion, not that of UP, all shite. The majority of them have got more calories than your average Mars bar. The majority of them have got more additives and chemicals in than your average Mars bar, which wreck your gut. They absolutely wreck your gut. Just because you add protein to something doesn't make it healthy. It just means it's got more protein and probably more calories. Back to UP. Is almond milk a good alternative to full fat milk? Yes, absolutely. It's going to be probably for the majority of people less likely to cause any kind of reaction. Adam Little, Elliot, what's your thoughts on fat grips? I think they're absolutely fantastic. If you've ever been out to UP Marbella, our dumbbell rack, which runs from, from 4 to 60 kilograms in half-kilo increments, are exclusively fat grips, all of them. They're phenomenal for increasing grip strength, they're phenomenal for shoulder health, they're phenomenal for overall strength. And when you go to another gym after you've trained with fat grips for a while, you are going to be one strong motherfucker. Because by the time you get back onto little narrow grips, because your shoulder health is so good, because you've learned how to lift a much more challenging weight, you're going to be considerably stronger. So, you can go to your mate's gym or go down the gym with some hot girls or hot guys or whatever it is you're into, and you can lift and you can give your ego a little bit of a polish. It's cool. The fat grips, absolutely awesome. Nancy, how do I find out my body fat percentage? My lovely one-to-one trainer seems happy with the pics so far regards to body fat, but I'm keen to know the percentage. Body tracks between apparently not reliable. They're terrible. The closest you can get is DEXA scan if there's one near you, but there aren't many in the UK, and it depends where you are. If you're in the States, there's more likely to be a few more dotted around. But I would say I've seen your photos, Nancy, and the difference you have made. I know you've had a few wobbles, and you're not really sure if it's as good as you wanted it to be, but you've done an unbelievable job. Unbelievable job. Absolutely staggering. You should be super proud of yourself. You guys are very inspiring. I'm getting my coach to apply for PT. Do it, Kicking Blonde. Literally, for all of you out there, I put a post up the other day. Fear only ever fucks things up. If you want something, try. The worst thing that could happen is that it doesn't get through and you try again, and you try again, and you try again. This is why people end up stuck in dead-end jobs they hate, or stuck in shitty relationships that they hate, or stuck in shitty situations that they hate, because they have too much fear to step out of them. So Kicking Blonde, forget plucking up the courage, just do it. What's the price of one-to-one training at the London UP gym? Would be better a month of one-to-one or 6. Jonathan, what you can do, the easiest way to do that, because I don't know the prices off the top of my head, go to upfitness.com and select the London gym that you want to go to. Then send a quick inquiry. It'll just ask you for your email. Send an inquiry, and then someone will get back to you with the rates or a Skype consultation to speak to you, or potentially an in-person consultation. So upfitness.com, select the gym that you want, and then send an inquiry to them, and they'll be able to answer with specifics that I can't. Kuran, what would you suggest to take pre-workout if I'm training very early in the AM and don't have time for a meal? Honestly, something really, really simple, like a shake. Instead of having your post-workout shake, post-workout, just have it pre-workout. That's what I advise people on the LiveUP plan who are unable to eat immediately first thing before they train, because I don't necessarily like having people training fasted unless they've got shitloads of muscle and they're not worried about losing some. I say have your post-workout shake, pre-workout shake. Definitely, thank you. Good luck, Kicking Blonde. Again, there's a bunch of you on there, a bunch of PTs who are ahhing, thinking, do I, don't I? You have nothing to lose. If you want to join the UP team, try. You have nothing at all to lose. If you don't get through, understand that maybe you weren't ready right now, but what our team will do at any of the recruitment days is they will often tell you why you didn't get through, what you need to work on. You go away, spend 6 months working on it, you apply again. Even the application system within UP, you will come out a better trainer. You will come out being able to be self-critical and know how to improve yourself. This is very, very important. So any of you PTs out there who want to apply, do it. We have positions opening all over the world and an awful lot of gyms coming through right now. So we need you guys, anyone out there who cares, give it a go. Don't be fearful. A1, you're awesome, man. Really love these Q&As because they're related to my degree. Really helps. Welcome, man, and good luck. As I say, make sure you get your ass in that gym to do your transformation, and don't be scared. No fear. So dip my head so you'd all see my bald spot. Am I going bald yet? I don't know. Probably am. Do you know what? How freaky? It's trending right now. How freaky is this face app thing that makes you really, really old? So I did it. I was like, oh, yeah, everyone was doing it. So I thought I'd just quickly check. Scared the living shit out of me because my father died recently. I miss him, RIP. But this face app, I looked identical to my dad, only with hair and a beard. Wherever you are, I know you're laughing at that. I've got hair and a beard, but it was absolutely freaky how much I look like him, and I don't know how the app does it. My assumption is I think the app is made by or owned by Facebook. I think it's pulling off your connection so it knows what or who your father is, etc., etc., and it pulls off some data from there and blah blah blah. But it was uncanny, like proper scary how what technology can do now. Joining UP is the best thing I've done for my health and fitness. Hoping for a great transformation, and the online forum is brilliant. Awesome, Michelle and Waltz. Thank you for saying so. Natasha Grabowskis, what are the benefits of a resistance band around the knees when doing hip thrusts? It allows you to engage the glutes better, because if you're doing it correctly, you should be pushing out hard against the band, and that is going to activate the glutes slightly more, especially glute medius and to a small degree glute max. So you can get a lot more activation out of the movement. So absolutely, very much worth doing. Right, I've got 5 minutes, folks. So jump on, give me some questions. We've got 5 minutes there. It means we've got 3 minutes until the quick fire rounds. That's when you're going to have to hit me with questions. I'm going to hit you with really fast answers. So get them done. This one, camera's in a different position down there for YouTube now. So, what's up YouTube? This is Instagram, this is my shape. So, right, just talking to YouTube. You know, I'm like some kind of douchebag Insta celebrity or something like that. Come on folks, we've got 4 minutes now, so hit me with any questions you have remaining. There's 32 people in here. You don't want to sit here and just look at my ugly mug, because I'll make it awkward for you. I'll just look at the camera like this and that's awkward, isn't it? The LiveUP forum is quality, but some of those recent food pics could put me off eating. I don't know what food pics went in there. How much can you achieve just by doing bodyweight exercises, especially for a beginner? You can certainly get lean doing them. You're not going to get massive, you're not going to get jacked, you're not going to build much muscle, but certainly if you know bodyweight squats, lunges, squat jumps, push-ups, etc., you can get lean doing them if your diet is in check. And the one thing you just got to remember with like home style workouts, and this recent trend over the last 3 or 4 years of HIT, is HIT training can be very, very aggressive hormonally and physically. It can be extremely damaging to the joints. So if you are going to do bodyweight style stuff, be careful with it. D30. What is beef protein in your shake? It's just some leftover beef protein from when Nick was here. Nick was recently out at this gym, and then because of his gut issues, he's been using beef protein recently, and he had a little bit left over, so I just took that. I wouldn't be able to tell you what the brand is. Tanya, what's up? Good strongman routines, what's my go-to? If I'm doing strongman style training, for me, it will usually be, I use a hammer a lot, hammer and tire. I use battling ropes a lot. I use the prowler and sleds. That's pretty much my go-tos if I'm doing that form of training. It depends for me, it's whatever I can make really, really intense. Now the hammers is something I love, but I'm pretty good at it now, and I don't feel like I can get the intensity up high enough. No, don't get me wrong, it hurts, and I'll do a minute on, say a minute on, minute off, but the hammer's only 5 kilos, I can't find a heavier hammer, not getting intensity there, so what I've gone back to now is reverting back to sprints. Prowler is something that you can always do, you know, something like a prowler you can't get away from, you're not hiding from the prowler. The prowler really does separate men from the boys, so sometimes I'll hit that. Again, battling ropes, absolutely awesome, but it's very, very easy for them to get a bit too easy, so depends. Very much depends how energetic I'm feeling. Steve Boy, hey, quick question. I took your advice and joined the monthly UP training plan. So far, I'm really enjoying it. Can I increase my veggies in the meal plan? Pretty hungry. Absolutely, yes, you can, Steve Boy. Just keep an eye on your digestive function. If you start to get too bloated, things like that, you may want to back it off a bit, but just see how you go. But yes, absolutely, you can. Do I play any sports? Not so much anymore. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I used to play football, cricket, rugby, basketball, tennis, all relatively well actually, you know, not amazing, but relatively well. And then when I left school and just focused on my career, I was like work. That's pretty much what I've done from the age of 16, is I've just tried to use every hour that I'm not sleeping, working. And I'm lucky that I love my job. I have a lot of ambitions, I have big goals. You know, maybe I'm not as intelligent as other people, but I certainly have a work ethic that can outwork the majority of people I've ever met, and I'm very, very proud of that, and I love my job, so I don't have time to play many sports. That being said, out here, paddle is very, very big, it's really, weak form of tennis in my opinion, but everybody, I've got a lot of Swedish friends and they're all convincing me that it's a really, really cool sport. So one of my Swedish friends, Hannah Anderson, you can follow her at Fashionable Fit, amazing businesswoman, beautiful, beautiful girl, go check her out. I'm going to play paddle with her sometime very, very soon because she keeps hassling me to do so. So that'd be cool. I'll let you know how it goes. Got to sound like an idiot now, but would love to aim for a photo shoot at some point. Got to scale myself a bit to push myself. Any recommendations, more for myself or something to aim for in the future? Nancy, absolutely do it, 100%. One thing I will say is give yourself enough lead time. You know, don't try and set it at an unrealistic time from now. Set it, pay for it, get it sorted, get it cemented, commit to it, tell as many people as possible so you're accountable to it, and then get it done, absolutely. Lychee, just moved into phase 3, down 8 kilos so far. I used to box at local club. You think I can incorporate back in twice a week yet? Yes, Lychee, I suggest you probably can. I would rip out the intervals in place of that and be very, very, very aware that your risk of injury is going to go through the roof. So be careful, be very, very careful. Right, folks. This is it, time's up, so I'm going to put the shake down, I'm going to say goodbye. Remember, anything that we have spoken about tonight, you can find on upfitness.com. If you want to get involved in the LiveUP plan, that again is over there. You go to the online training tab in the left corner, look for LiveUP for men or LiveUP for women. Click on either one of those two and you can join the plan today. You can start it tomorrow. Come and join me in the forums. It's awesome. Everybody who you've seen in here has gone on about it and they've told you what they've lost, how cool the forum is. We've got an unbelievable team of people in this community that is growing every single day. It's absolutely bloody outstanding. I love it. They are my squad. Remember, if you want to come to the training camp, the 3-day training camp with me personally out in Marbella on October 3rd to 6th, you can go to my personal profile, hit the link in that bio, and you can jump on there as well. That's going to be sick. It's going to be the biggest training camp in UP's history. Mega, mega. But until then, until I see you in 2 weeks' time, not next week, the week after, have an awesome week, have an awesome weekend, have an awesome time training. If you need anything, send us a message, comment on any of the photos, come over to my profile, speak to me there, whatever you need to do, and I will see you very, very soon. Lots of love to you all. There's one person who jumped in just in time. One more question, if I can, fire a DM regarding carb portions and a meal plan. A little confused about something. No DMs, Steve. You can put it on the forum as per the rules. I won't answer DMs specific to the program. Harley, what's your opinion on the scales? Would you ever recommend getting rid of it if someone is obsessively weighing themselves every day? Lisa, go over to my profile at Elliot Upton and you look at the video where I'm holding a set of scales and that will tell you everything you need to know. Until the next time, guys, I've been Elliot Upton. This has been UP Fitness Live. I will see you very, very soon. Goodbye. All right. YouTube, that was, well, you know what that was. You see it every single week. If you have any questions, links are in the comments box below, and I will see you next time. Do try to get over and join us if you're watching this and catch up. If not, I hope this angle's been a bit weird. You've kind of seen me side, you've seen me front, you've seen me up, you've seen me down, but because I broke my other tripod, basically. You can see the rig set up here in my living room. The other tripod snapped, so I've had to put it on my desk. But there we go. Anyway, that's done. See you very, very soon.